Whenever we look at our history, we always say that the 18th century was man discovering himself. The 19th century was man discovering the world. (1834) would prove to be quite a significant year in Philippine history, because the entire colonial trade was on an upswing. New things were coming in, new tastes were coming in, new relations with other countries were coming in. So this was the golden era of Philippine trade and commerce, because all of a sudden we were open to the world, and as we became more in contact with the outside world, it was the waters that provided us now with the road coming from the other countries. And the coastline was the stopover. The coastline was the place where trade was made. The coastlines became a valued part of the economy of the Philippines. So the exclusivity of the economy suddenly broke out of its boundaries, and the Filipinos now started investing in the very products, in the very system, in the very money that the Spaniards were enjoying before. The Filipino custom and tradition suddenly became refined, although we were not even barbaric before, but these were eventually uplifted to a different kind of manners. As we slowly become Hispanized, the refinements of Europe were introduced to us, most especially liquor. From the United States came whiskey, from Russia came vodka, from England came gin. These were new alcohols that were being introduced into the Philippines by importation. The entry of refined liquor eventually also changed the habits of many Filipinos. It was part of the social life, especially in parties, the big parties in the Philippines at the time by the upper class and the upper middle class. And it was a classic display of the wealth and the customs and traditions that could be found in Europe at that time. The more refined the drink, the more refined the customs now with regards to parties and get-togethers. I think one of the things that attracted gin to the Filipinos was the strength of the gin. So, some businessmen, specifically the Ayalas, were already considering, what if it was cheaper? No, not to just import the liquor, but to manufacture the liquor here. And so came the opening of the Distilleria Ayala. Ginebra now was part of the liquor that was being manufactured here in the Philippines. And the only problem the Ayalas had when the Distilleria was starting to manufacture it was, of course, the availability of juniper berries, which is not grown here. The chemists of the distillery now started experimenting using local products, local botanicals, local plants. What could make it taste better? What could make it taste Filipino while making it European in character? In the case of gin, what they used, aside from juniper berries, was of course extracts from fruit. Extracts from calamansi, which is one of the popular citrus fruits here. But of course, there comes the time when the alcohol must smell good. So they would eventually temper it down with essence of flowers. In this case, sometimes the sampaguita, which is very fragrant. So that is how the gin of the early 19th century here in the Philippines was eventually mixed. Gin was something that everyone was looking for. It had a high content of alcohol. It made them warm in the cold season, and it provided them, of course, with relaxation. Gin drinking had become a permanent fixture of the drinking culture of the Filipinos.
The conceptualization and making of 1834 premium distilled gin was inspired by a story. A great story that led to a lot of transformations, not just in our heritage as a Ginebra San Miguel, but as being part of the Philippine history. I think it is fitting that 1834 Premium Distilled Gin as a brand and as a product is hinged on the Filipinos' DNA during the era of 1834 where discovery and excellence unfolded. Linking this story, 1834 Premium Distilled Gin is a unique gin that is proudly Filipino. From the packaging, the design of the bottle, it tells you about the story of the Philippines during that era. The formulation is also unique as it is distilled with endemic Philippine botanicals such as calamansi and sampaguita. We are also backed up with the gin-making expertise of the world's largest selling gin company that also started in 1834. Overall, as a product, it is inspired to showcase the craftsmanship of a Filipino by highlighting the value of excellence and discovery that is very much evident even in the modern setting of our country.
As the producer of the largest selling gin in the world, Ginebra San Miguel, the company needed to have a product for the premium distilled gin category to be able to cater to the different markets and palates. The creation of 1834 was a tedious process where the country's top mixologists and bartenders played a crucial role as sensory critics. The output of the tedious process, but a highly rewarding one, is 1834 that has a sweet, dry, and citrusy taste of gin with a top note of pleasant, subtle, floral scent. 1834, a distilled gin that contains 10 botanicals, was produced in this copper pot still. The botanicals are placed inside this cooking pot with alcohol. The alcohol, together with the botanicals, is heated with steam. The alcohol boils and turns to vapor, which contains the botanical extracts responsible for the flavor and aroma of 1834. The vapor then passes through the condenser, which turns it into liquid and is then collected and added with mineral-free water to 80 proof. The art and science of this cooking process are choosing the right botanicals, crafting the balanced proportion of each botanical, understanding when to collect the final product, and using this cooking equipment made up of copper, which enhances the aroma of 1834 by removing unpleasant odors. The main ingredient of 1834, of course, is the juniper berry for it to be called gin. The other gin botanicals present in 1834 are coriander seeds, cubeb berries, angelica, and orris roots. On top of those basic gin botanicals, what makes 1834 very Filipino and fit for the Filipino taste is the use of our Philippine lemon, the calamansi fruit, and the extract of our national flower, sampaguita, that gives 1834 that aromatic floral scent.
When the brand approached Plus 63, our design studio, we wanted to design the product in such a way that it reflected what 1834 Manila was. So it's very conceptual because we didn't live through that era. When me, Joe, and Craig worked on the project, that was our takeoff point. We wanted to show the sense of discovery and mystery of 1834 through the bottle. So you can see all the elements, even the galleon trade, the rum lines that you can see on old Philippine maps, the compass rose that you can see also on those old maps. So that was the main reference that we wanted to be, because 1834 was the time when Manila opened up to the world. So there was a lot of collaboration, interaction between different cultures, and the maps sort of reflected this. So all the illustrations that you can see in the bottles were inspired by these old Philippine and international maps. We also included some of the botanicals. So you can see like calamansi, all the other citruses. So parang yun yung mga other things that we wanted to put in the bottle. Like even here at the front, you can see my sun, and then it reflects at the other side with the yung parang compass rose type of sun. I think some of the elements and graphics that you can see here are super interesting. Like even the direction, like how the embossing would be, like how the printing would be, and yun nga, like what I said earlier, yung inside label, you can see the Philippine map there if you look closely. So parang yung sense of discovery is not just like on the branding or on the tagline, but you can see it on the bottle as well. From the backside, you can see the old distillery also of GSM. The impression that we wanted people to feel when they see the product is that it's a high quality and very classy product. When you see it on the shelf, the intent is that, oh, what's this new brand? Oh, it looks nice. And then when you hold the bottle, it's like there's a lot of details on the bottle. Yun yung experience that we wanted it to be, like from the eyes and from the touch. You get to experience the whole 1834.
What you want to really embody in this bottle is all about being proud of the product that it is the Philippine gin that the world has been waiting for. It embodies a lot of what we are as a Filipino. It's really because of Filipino craftsmanship. It's all about also excellence. So that's what you want to really share to the market. The main distinguishing factor of 1834 from other gins in the market is the fact that it is the gin from the Philippines. More than its gin-making techniques, our story is embodied very well from the packaging down to the formulation of using distinct local botanicals such as santalita and calamansi for that refreshing yet distinct drinking experience. It is indeed just the beginning of the new discoveries of the brand. You know, launching in the middle of the pandemic, it's quite difficult, but launching something that has the full values of being a local brand and being a Filipino gin is also a symbol for us that there is something exciting and hopeful to look forward to despite these trying times. It took us time to really develop it and partnered with local well-known mixologists that brought about 1834 premium distilled gin to build credibility and more so, authenticity.
So Lennon, this is 1834.
1834.
What do you love most about this gin?
Well, the bottle tells a story itself. Now, the bottle of 1834 tells the history of how the Philippines excelled in trade and commerce in 1834.
Yeah, and I feel like as bartenders, we love a good story. And with the bottle and what's inside the bottle, it's
Yes,
just
definitely.
it's a match made in heaven because the quality of this gin is something uniquely Filipino and something that is easy to boast to other people. It's so great because the world's largest selling gin company has brought something new to the table with culture and tradition and excellence all wrapped up into one bottle.
By using local botanicals, for us Filipinos, these are nostalgic moments and of course, something familiar with us and something we love. And for foreigners and to everybody, something to unravel and to discover. For those who want full flavor, yung bold flavor ng 1834, you know who you are, yung mga purists dyan, you can take it as neat. And for those who want, you know, just to chill and light drinkers, you can serve it on the rocks. And of course, yung mga fun and who wants color to your drink, ang ating 1834 cocktails.
Yeah, and the flavor just equates to excellence. And I'm so excited because this is the Philippine gin the world has been waiting for.
And with that, tara, gawa tayo ng 1834 cocktails.
Okay, let's go.
You know, Tabs, everybody loves gin and tonic. So we're going to make our version of 1834 gin and tonic.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't love a gin and tonic,
Yes.
right? And especially with 1834, I feel like the flavors are really gonna come out.
So let's start. First, we need a balloon glass. And then I'll just add ice. And then, we will going to add some ginger slices and black peppercorns. These spices will give you earthy notes and some medium heat and spice.
It looks so good already.
And then, of course, 45 ml of our 1834 premium distilled gin. It has this balanced combination of our local botanicals with refreshing and bright flavor of calamansi, plus the floral and mysterious aroma or bouquet ng ating sampagita.
And I feel like it really pairs well with the ginger, no?
Yep. And then, we're going to top it off with our tonic water for some body and fizziness.
This is actually my first time trying a gin and tonic with ginger. How come you chose ginger?
Well, because of the botanicals from 1834, we'll give it some earthy notes that will complement the drink.
Yeah.
In every sip, actually, it unravels layers and layers of flavors. And with the use of local botanicals, talaga namang may sense of pride and honor yung bawat pag-inom natin ito.
Okay, Lennon, so I decided to make my cocktail a bee's knees. With this recipe, I love the cinnamon syrup with 1834 gin. So with this also, using the cinnamon syrup, it really kind of complements your sampagita as well. So let's start first with chilling our glass. Right there. Sometimes I like to use a bar spoon to just like speed it up a little bit. And then next, I'm going to set that aside and grab my tin shaker. Pour in 45 ml of your 1834 premium distilled gin. Now you're going to pour equal parts of your calamansi juice and your cinnamon syrup.
That's a very interesting ingredients. I believe magbibigay ito ng konting sweetness and some spice in our cocktail.
Definitely. I mean, who doesn't like sweetness and spice and everything nice? And then now we are going to add our ice to our shaker. Or make sure you tap your shaker to lock it. Once that's blended together nicely, we are going to take our chilled glass and toss the ice, like so. And then we are going to strain our bee's knees into our coupe glass. Just like that.
Wow, nice color, huh?
I know. And then we're going to grab our cinnamon stick. Then for the fun part. So we're going to grab a torch and then just smoke the cinnamon stick. This will add more aroma to your cocktail.
Wow.
So, pagkuha mo pa lang ng cocktail, maamoy na mo na talaga yung cinnamon. And there you have it, your bee's knees with 1834 premium distilled gin.
1834 Premium Distilled Gin is all about discovery and excellence. Discovery of something new that you are able to move forward and be excellent at your craft. Consumers are in for a surprising, delectable, and distinct gin experience with 1834. You are in for a wonderful drinking experience once you open a bottle of 1834 Premium Distilled Gin.
1834 created a different kind of world for the Filipinos.
We wanted to design the product in such a way that it reflected the sense of discovery and mystery of 1834.
Floral gins now are such a breath of fresh air, and you can enjoy it in any way you can.
New discoveries abound for 1834 Premium Distilled Gin. It is indeed just the beginning of the new discoveries of the brand. 1834 Premium Distilled Gin is currently available at our select distribution channels such as Rustan's Marketplace, our partner wine shops like Harris and Ralph's, and of course through Lazmall and Shopee and SMC's The Hub. So I hope you'll add to cart and discover something unique with a bottle of 1834 today.